Hey guys, this is Melinda with eatingbuckets.com. So it is January 22nd today, and we're well into, New Year's and New Year's resolutions and all of the things that I was really excited about at the end of last year and really kind of blogging a lot about at the beginning of this year. And I wanted to just kind of check in with all of you about how you're doing with those, because this is kind of the time when people can get really discouraged and frustrated with their inabilities to, break habits or sort of change or move forward in the way that they wanted to. And so what I wanted to offer today was sort of this conversation about grace. That's a word that I know we're really hearing a lot these days. And it's something I've really sat with for a while as I consider all of the ways that we can arrive here to this space. In particular, in like Instagram or social media, where there can be a theme of arriving perfect, having the space be beautiful, having yourself be beautiful before you share. And I think that those themes really come up in a big way and can be really helpful when you think about how that relates to real life. And sort of, do you operate from a place of authenticity and openness, or do you not, And that's a real thing that I'm pushing forward in my life right now. Authenticity and honesty, moving forward, being upfront, being out there, because it's the only way that I know how to grow and to be. And I think that a lot of people need that as well. I think that the world needs more healers, and it needs more people who arrive with a spirit of grace, of approaching each other with kindness and love, right? With knowing that mistakes happen, and especially when you live a big open life, and to give yourself the benefit of seeing that you're doing the best you can, and you have to keep showing up anyway. And you can't expect yourself nor other people to arrive at this life in any other state than the one that they're at, and that you can't control those things, right? You cannot control other people. You can't control in some ways all the outcomes. You can definitely put positive energy out there, and you can hope that that is returned. And the universe has always shown me instantly, the minute I do something that is not in line with my full value system, the universe lets me know. And I'm grateful for that. It helps me be authentic. It's hard because that always comes with regrets. And if you're somebody like I am, who is so thoughtful and so loving, then, that heartfelt experience can be rough, it can be hard. But I can't change it. I wouldn't want to. I mean, I'm almost 43 years old, and I've been this way since I was a kid, So grace, where does that come in? You will make mistakes. You will drive towards your goals, and you won't get there right away. But think about why and what you are most wanting to get to. And one of the things that I have been really sitting with is that I'm really inspired by hard work. It's something that I feel defines me in a big way, right? And so I thought about this the other day, though, like, why does it have to be hard work? It's not always hard. Sometimes it's just work and thinking about how to make that sort of distinction for yourself, and sort of when you're putting together your visions of who you want to be and the work ahead of you, does it have to be hard? Not always. Sometimes it really is, and life will throw those things at you that are incredibly hard. But what are the things that you can do to come to that place and arrive and surrender a little bit, right? As somebody who can be impatient and fiery and sort of come to the table with a big creative spirit, I have had to learn throughout life to sort of soften a bit, which is kind of odd, right? To have such a big heart, but then to also have to soften and to realize that all the things that I want from other people, I won't be given necessarily, but that I'll get what I need. So I know this is kind of a wandering conversation. I feel like I should be more on point, considering that I'm going to post this to all of you. But I think that's the whole point. I think that's what I want right now. I want more real. And it's interesting because as I've sort of just stepped in a little bit into the world of YouTube versus Instagram, which I'm still new at, I've seen that there's a lot more reality out there than there is on Instagram. And I think that's because Instagram has been very photo-based for a long time. It's about, presenting your work. And oftentimes if you're going to put your work out there in a media platform like that, it's similar to putting your, masterpiece in a frame and hanging it on the wall for all to see. And you want it to, to represent what you are aiming for, and that ends up being a little bit of perfection. And yet I think we need to really look a little bit at what is the definition of beauty, right? What is the definition of what's worthy of framing and putting on the wall? You're not going to hang up some ugly thing that you have to look at all the time. You're going to hang up the things that you aspire for. It's like when we go back to the conversation about a vision board, I talked about that as framing the things that you want in your life for the year ahead and reminding yourself of it often. And the reason for that is that life is busy and it's distracting, and you have to keep coming back to center over and over and over again. You kind of have to force yourself to do that. And one of the things I remember pointing out that I'd cut out from a magazine was life is what you make up. And it came from a makeup ad in a health and beauty magazine. And in no way do I believe life is what you make up. You can't make things up. They are what they are. But you can make up how you move through life as you go, with your attitude, with your grace, with your ability to forgive yourself first and foremost, because that's going to make it a lot easier to forgive others. And if you can't forgive others, then you are probably somebody who is really hard on yourself, and you kind of do the best you can and you show up, but it would be hard. If I wasn't able to forgive myself, how would I be here? How do we exist without that? So I think that just ties in again to this whole idea of having resolve, having a New Year's resolution that you stick to, and you give yourself the space to make mistakes, to waver, to not get it right every single time. And you work, but you don't always have to work hard. You work and you aim for what you want, and sometimes you get only what you need, but you keep those things that you desperately want first and foremost in your mind, and you keep going for that. So if I'm aiming for honesty and authenticity and raw and rugged, and I'm aiming for like some of the messy edges of life to come out and sort of reveal themselves to me, then I'm going to keep driving towards that. What's that year going to look like then? you know? It's going to be interesting. And in that sort of, you know, infinity sign of like what you put out comes back, I expect that that will continue to happen. What I put out will come back. What I put out will come back. What I put out will come back. So whether that means that if I start running and exercising in the way that I want, well, chances are my body's going to get stronger. If I work really hard on, you know, going to bed with peaceful thoughts, chances are I'm going to have more peaceful dreams. If I hold my heart with a loving hand, I'm going to be more able to hold your heart with a loving hand. If I expect high things for myself, but I give myself grace when I screw up, I'm going to be more able to do that for you. I'm going to be able to show up and say, oh yeah, I've been there. Oh my God, I get that. No, you're not a bad person. Of course not. I'm not a bad person. So let's work on this together. And I just think that that feeds into reminding yourself along the way, okay, it's January 22nd. Have I done everything I intended to do? Have you? If not, it's only January 22nd. You've got all the way till December 31st, 2020 to do those things that you want to do. So keep them in mind and just keep showing up the best you can, doing the very best that you can. That's all you can do. And it won't be enough for everybody, but at least make it enough for you. At the end of the day, hold yourself to that. Okay, here comes my son.